Hi folks, it's Dr. E and I'm here with your Week 8 instructional video for English 1301. I'm going to jump right into our content area so we can look at the Week 8 module to see what is ahead for us. So you do have one reading assigned this week, and that's from Chapter 19, and it's about constructing arguments in academic writing. So this is a good chapter that details the different forms that argument may take when it comes to our writing and different expectations, right? So you are watching the weekly instructional video. There is a discussion post, and a different kind of assignment to kind of think about is a works cited, and I'll explain more of that when we get into the assignment area. And then of course our participation quiz. So I want you to note that there is a post that's due on Thursday, but it is optional. I feel as though even though I've put it in capital letters here and even in the instructions in the discussion board area, I still get questions about whether or not it's optional. It is. It's for bonus credit, so keep that in mind. It's there for you if you would like to put some of that bonus credit aside for any future concerns or times you may miss an assignment or times you missed assignments in the past. It's good to note that I do not round up when it comes to our semester grades, so having a little bit of a safety net when it comes to your grade is never a bad thing, but it's also not required. So if you're having a busy week, if things are going on, you don't have to do that. We do have a required participation quiz as well as this works cited assignment, and those are due on Sunday. I do want you to note that next week is spring break, so I always encourage everyone to get the work done early, just so that you have it off your plate and you can definitely rest, relax, rejuvenate if you are able to when it comes to that spring break. So you're watching what will appear here, and I do want you to note that there is a complete schedule for our semester that's available now. When you can, or when you're, feeling like it, take some time to look it over. I've looked at it so many times. I'm sure there are things that could be revised or edited. I need your help with some peer review there. So if you see anything confusing or that you have questions about, definitely, let me know so I can make some changes for the better. All right, so if we go to the Week 8 discussion, it is optional, and it's based on this week's reading for constructing arguments. Okay, so just if you want to start a new thread, put your name in the subject line and work towards answering the question based on the reading. Of course, for credit, it needs to be revised and edited. It needs to meet all of the guidelines and expectations, as well as, it's a writing course, so we want it to be revised and edited. All right, and so for the kind of different assignment this week, we do have a works cited that I would like you to complete. So this is a chance for us to get ahead in some ways. So what I want you to do first is to, of course, review this video, which you're doing. Awesome. I also want you to visit the MLA help module in the content area, and this is for various reasons. I want you to see what's there and become familiar so you know where to go and what to look at when you're having concerns or questions about MLA, but also because there are examples, right? There's the video, there are links, there are things there that are meant to be resources for you when it comes to MLA, because you do not need to be an expert in MLA. I don't think I would consider myself an expert. I know various things by heart because I've been doing this for a long time, but I still go to these websites. I don't use the same kinds of citations all the time. I have to double check my work, as well as MLA. The organization makes a lot of edits and updates, so I have to double check that this version that we're in now, this edition, is correct. All right, so after doing that, I want you to go back to your Week 4 journal to see the research you may have used. So that is so that we can then create citations for any of the sources you reference. So let me just kind of backtrack here. So if we go to the content area and you scroll down, there is this MLA help module. Okay, so you'll see there is a link to the Purdue Online Writing Lab website. This is what I use when I have MLA questions because they're very thorough, they're very well respected. A lot of people in composition and writing instruction utilize this as a tool. There's also a document that uses Choi's article for examples, because Choi is an article, she uses so many different sources. She uses a lot of quotes. She paraphrases a lot. So her work becomes a nice example for us to look at how MLA is used in these different scenarios. So I've included examples in this document. There's also the video, and in that video I go over what my expectations are for MLA, and I go over using some of these examples with Choi's work. There's a link here that sometimes is helpful when it comes to citing sources such as podcasts, TV, TED Talks, that kind of thing. So it takes you directly to the Purdue Online Writing Lab website when it comes to citing these kinds of sources. And I also have some citation examples. So why not use one of these documents as your template? Okay, this is not what it actually looks like when you open the document. So that's another good point to make, is that when you open the citation, if you go and click the download button, this is what a works cited looks like. The title is centered. We have alphabetized last names, which is more clear, of course, when you have multiple entries. And you have properly capitalized titles in quotation marks with punctuation. This is there are a lot of annoying aspects of MLA, I'll admit, but MLA is so very specific about punctuation. Where does a comma go? Where does a period go? Where do quotation marks go versus italics? If you watch that MLA video, there's detail and explanation about this that can be helpful. But I've also tried to provide examples in order to, give you that visual. And why not use this as your template? Especially if you've used Amy Choi's work or plan to in the future. I've already done the work for you. I say this, and I know that people are still either not going to watch this video or not going to go and use the resources. So why not be one of the people who does use the resources? Take advantage of the work that I've already done for you. Okay. So if you go to course activities and then go to the assignment area, this is also where you can see, this is our assignment. When you have this is a blank account, but you should have hyperlinks here just as you do here. Okay, so if you go back, you should have your week 4 journal. You should be able to see that document. I really hope that you've saved it somewhere. This is something that I urge you to do in our syllabus and our, conversations. You need to save in Word or PDF format. So go and find your week 4 journal that you submitted and see what kind of research you either could use in the future or that you already did use in the assignment. So that you can then create citations for any of those that you've used or plan to use. Because with the work cited, we're trying to do some of the work ahead of time, okay? Because we're taking some of our writing step by step. We're doing some, journals at different points in the semester. We're going to, compile those in a way for our final essay, right? Our formal, I'm using air quotes here, research essay, to show that if we take writing step by step, it can be a bit more approachable. We're not doing this the night before. We're taking our time with it. And one thing is a works cited. So I put here, we're taking the food journal collection assignment step by step, right? One thing I've noticed, and I notice in myself as well as others, is that we leave that works cited until the end. And that's understandable, right? We want to see, what research we use. And sometimes it's not until we're done with our writing that we can see all the sources that have been utilized and have been helpful. But if we get a head start on that, it just saves time and frustration, because it is very frustrating, I'll admit. MLA is a lot. So your goal is to submit a works cited page in the proper format. Y'all, if you're using Macs, I have to stress again, you need to make sure you're uploading it in a format that can be opened by D2L and turn it in. Pages is not one of those. it's a lot to go back and double check assignments and ask for your work to be resubmitted, and it's not necessarily fair to other students who have submitted their work on time in the proper format. This is a requirement, and many of you are working on this. Like, we've had these discussions previously in the semester, and you're on board and you're doing it, but this is just a reminder to make sure that you're taking that extra step, no matter what program you're using, right? So you're going to need at least 2 citations, right, for 2 sources. So think about what you have used or what you may end up using in your food journal collection down the road. So think of anything we've used related to food. So Finley's TED Talk, Lee's TED Talk, any food-related articles like Choi. This is one of those things where we're planning ahead, but you do not have to commit to using what you choose here in the final food journal collection. So if you put Choi's citation in this works cited page, it's not tying you to then use her work in the final product, in the final food journal collection. This is just giving us some practice. This is just giving us a draft that we can then revise, edit, update as needed when the final food journal collection is due. Okay, so you need 2 citations that are related to food that you may or may not use in your food journal collection. Okay, all right, so if you have any questions about that, please let me know. You can, of course, hit add a file, do what you need to do there. And as always, you can go to the discussion board to look at the Q&A area and post there, or if you see somebody ask a question and you are pretty confident that you know the answer, help out. Reach out to your colleagues and give them a helping hand. Of course, I'll jump in there, but if you get there first, help out. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. But also, like I said, try to get your work done a little early, and then you can really take advantage of your time over the next upcoming week for spring break. All right, everyone, good luck, take care, and let me know what you need.